Okay, so we've got a ton of AI news to unpack this week. Looks like you've sent over excerpts from newsletters, Twitter threads, and a bunch of Discord chatter.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with. The AI world moves fast.
Definitely. So it seems like you're really interested in the breakthroughs that have real world implications, especially those that could impact people
That's
directly.
exactly. I'm looking for the signal and all the noise, the stuff that really matters.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to figure out which of these updates are actually game changers and what they mean for you going forward.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's start with the big news. Anthropic just launched Claude 3.5 Sonnet,
Yeah.
and people are going crazy over its new computer use feature. Still in beta, but it's causing quite a stir.
The computer use feature is pretty incredible. It allows Claude 3.5 Sonnet to actually interact directly with your computer.
Interact directly, so like moving the cursor, clicking
Yeah,
buttons.
exactly. Even executing commands. Imagine having an AI that can actually use software just like you have.
It's like having a super powered digital assistant, one that can actually navigate the digital world instead of just responding to voice commands.
That's a great way to put it. It's still early days, of course, but the implications are huge.
Yeah.
Think about all the tasks you could automate, how much more accessible things could become, even how we interact with computers could be completely redefined.
I'm seeing a lot of developers going nuts exploring the potential, especially for things like coding.
Yeah, coding is a big one. Imagine AI that can help you write code, but can also run it, debug it, even suggest improvements in real time.
That would change everything. But of course, there are always concerns when AI takes a big leap forward. I'm seeing a lot of discussions online about the security risks of giving an AI that level of control over your computer.
Oh, for sure. Those concerns are definitely valid.
Hmm.
Anthropic is emphasizing that it's experimental and that security is a top priority. But it's a conversation we need to have as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives. What happens when the lines between AI and human interaction become even more blurred?
It's definitely something to watch closely. Now, while Claude is stealing the spotlight, there's a whole bunch of other new AI models coming out this week. What else is catching your eye?
Yeah, it feels like everyone's releasing new models. We've
Mhm.
got NVIDIA, IBM, Elon Musk's XAI. Even Microsoft is getting in on the action.
NVIDIA's Llama 3.1 Nematron is generating a lot of buzz. I'm seeing chatter that it's going head to head with GPT-4 and Claude 3.5 on some benchmarks like Arena Hard and Alpacay Vol 2 LC. Those are designed to test a model's understanding and reasoning abilities, right?
Yeah, that's right. Nematron is a seriously powerful model. It's clear that NVIDIA is pushing the boundaries of what's possible with language models. And this new release could have major implications for a ton of different applications. Everything from chatbots and virtual assistants to content creation and data analysis.
But IBM is right there with them with their new Granite 3.0 model. They're claiming it actually outperforms Llama 3.1 on the Hugging Face Open LLM leaderboard, at least for similarly sized models.
It's true. IBM has taken a bit of a different approach with Granite 3.0, focusing on a huge, super diverse training data set.
Like, how huge are we talking?
Massive. Tons of text and code covering multiple languages and even specialized domains. They've basically trained it on the entire internet. And it seems to be working. Granite 3.0 is showing strong performance across the board.
Wow, that's impressive. And then we have XAI, Elon Musk's new venture. They finally launched their Grok API beta this week.
Yeah, Grok is a very interesting one. They're aiming for a more human-like AI with a focus on humor and real-time information access.
So less like a cold calculating machine and more like, I don't know, a witty friend who always has the latest scoop.
Exactly. It's going to be
Oh.
fascinating to see what developers do with it.
And then there's Microsoft open sourcing something called BitNet, which is meant to make it possible to run these massive AI models on regular CPUs instead of requiring all that specialized hardware.
Yeah, that's huge in terms of accessibility. Traditionally, running these large language models has required a ton of computing power, often involving specialized GPUs. So this move by Microsoft could be a game changer, opening the door for smaller companies, researchers, even individuals to work with these advanced AI tools.
So it's like the power of AI is trickling down from the big tech giants to the masses. That's really exciting.
It is. The more people have access to these tools, the more innovation we're going to see. It's a great time to be involved in AI.
Speaking of accessibility, it seems like the open source AI community is on fire right now. They're releasing new tools and pushing boundaries like crazy.
It's an incredibly vibrant community, and they're playing a huge role in making AI more accessible and driving innovation.
One project that caught my eye is called Moonshine. It's a new open source speech to text model.
Ah, Moonshine. He's making quite a splash. It was developed by Sanchit Gandhi and the Hugging Face team, and early tests show that it can process audio way faster than Whisper, like up to 30 times faster, on a standard CPU.
30 times faster. That's mind-blowing. What does that kind of speed mean for practical applications?
It opens up a ton of possibilities, from real-time transcription and translation to voice assistants that respond instantly. We could even see more natural-sounding synthetic voices for things like audiobooks and videos. And the best part is, because it's open source, anyone can use, adapt, and improve upon the technology.
That's the beauty of open source. And it's not just moonshine. We're also seeing cool developments with tools like Comfy UI for image generation and the new release of Stable Diffusion 3.5, which offers all sorts of customizable models that can run on regular computers.
It's really impressive to see what the open source community is achieving. They're a major force in making these powerful tools available to everyone.
It's like the Wild West of AI innovation out there. And it seems like a lot of these passionate AI folks are drawn to hackathons, those events where people gather to build cool things with the latest tools. There's one coming up that's creating a lot of buzz, the LLM Agents MOOC Hackathon, hosted by Berkeley RDI.
Oh yeah, that one's huge. Over $200,000 in prizes. Plus, it's got backing from some big names like OpenAI and Google AI, and it's open to everyone, not just Berkeley students. So it's attracting a really diverse group of participants.
Wow, that's amazing. And it's not just about building the most technically impressive AI, right? They've got different tracks to encourage people to explore all sorts of approaches.
Exactly. There are 5 tracks: applications, benchmarks, fundamentals, safety, and decentralized and multi-agents. They're really encouraging people to think about the bigger picture, not just the technical side of things. It's great to see that kind of awareness.
It definitely reflects a growing recognition that AI needs to be developed responsibly and thoughtfully. I can't wait to see what kind of creative solutions come out of that hackathon.
Me too. With all the talent and energy focused on AI agents, I think we're on the verge of some major breakthroughs.
Now, you mentioned that while hackathons are great, a lot of the really interesting conversations about AI are happening in more informal settings, particularly on Discord.
Oh yeah, Discord is where a lot of the action is happening. It's become the go-to platform for AI enthusiasts to connect, share ideas, and collaborate. It's where you get the raw, unfiltered discussions about the latest developments and challenges.
So you did a little Discord deep dive for us, exploring the servers for OpenRouter, Aider, and Stability.ai.
I did.
What kind of hidden gems did you uncover? What are people talking about that we wouldn't hear about anywhere else?
Well, in the OpenRouter Discord, there's a lot of talk about the practicalities of using different AI models, like how they perform, how much they cost, what their limitations are. People are comparing models like Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Llama 3.1 Nitro, even some of the smaller, more budget-friendly options like Mistral 8B. It's like a real-time crowdsourced analysis of what works and what doesn't.
It sounds like a great resource for anyone who's trying to figure out which AI model is the right fit for their needs.
Definitely. And it's not just about comparing specs and benchmarks. People are sharing their actual experiences using these models, talking about the quirks and inconsistencies, even collaborating to solve technical challenges.
It's a great example of the power of community in the AI world. So what's the vibe over in the Aider Discord?
In the Aider Discord, there's a lot of excitement about the potential of Claude 3.5 Sonnet's computer use feature, especially for coding. People are figuring out how to use it for things like parsing code, finding errors, even suggesting code completions.
Sounds like a dream come true for programmers. But I imagine cost is also a big concern, especially when using these powerful models for something like coding, which can be very resource intensive.
Yeah, cost comes up a lot in those discussions. Some users are advocating for more affordable options, like DeepSeek, which seems to strike a good balance between performance and price.
It's a good reminder that access to these powerful AI tools shouldn't be limited to those with deep pockets. So what about the Stability.ai Discord? What's the buzz there?
The Stability.ai community is having a bit of a mixed reaction to the recent release of Stable Diffusion 3.5. There's a lot of talk about the new licensing terms, especially compared to the previous versions, and some debate about the image quality compared to models like Flux.
So it sounds like the classic tension between open access and the need for companies to, keep the lights on.
It is. It's great that they're trying to make these tools widely available, but they also need to find a way to support their work.
It's a tough balance to strike, but it's clear that the open source community is a driving force in the AI world. They're constantly pushing the boundaries and challenging the status quo.
And they're doing it with incredible passion and creativity. It's really inspiring to see.
Okay, so we've covered the major headlines and gotten a glimpse into some of the exciting discussions happening in the Discord trenches. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the specific projects and communities that are shaping the future of AI.
Sounds good. Let's dive in a little deeper.
Let's do it. So, we've talked about the big AI news, but I want to explore the stuff that's maybe flying under the radar a bit. You mentioned Discord is great for those kinds of discussions, right?
Absolutely. There's so many niche communities on Discord where people are deep diving into specific aspects of AI. It's amazing.
Really is. So, where should we go next on our Discord adventure?
Let's check out the Perplexity AI Discord. They're the folks behind that awesome conversational search engine I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah, Perplexity. I've been using it, and it's pretty mind-blowing. It's like it just pulls information from everywhere and presents it in this really conversational way. What are people talking about over there?
They're really excited about the potential of Perplexity to change how we access information. People are eager to see how it integrates new models, like Claude 3.5 Sonnet and Haiku.
It seems like Perplexity is leading the way in this whole movement toward more intuitive search, less like typing keywords into a box and more like having a conversation.
Exactly. But of course, there are still challenges. One of the big discussions is about the reliability and transparency of AI-powered search.
That makes sense. It's one thing to get a quick answer, but when it comes to making decisions or doing research, you need to know you can trust the information.
Right. People are talking a lot about the importance of accurate sourcing and making sure the information is unbiased. And they're really engaged in holding the developers accountable, which is great.
It's a good reminder that even as AI gets more advanced, we still need human judgment and critical thinking. Now, Perplexity isn't the only player in the conversational search game, right? Yahoo just launched their AI chat service, too.
Yep, the competition is definitely heating up. But the Perplexity community seems confident in their platform strengths, especially its focus on accuracy and the quality of its sources. They really see it as more than just a chatbot.
It's cool to see a smaller company like Perplexity holding its own against the tech giants.
It is, and their community is a big part of that. They're constantly giving feedback, suggesting new features, really helping shape the platform.
Okay, so we've explored conversational search, but now I want to get into some of the more technical communities, the places where people are really down in the code, building the AI of the future. What else did you find?
Let's head over to the Eleuther AI Discord server. They're known for their work on open source language models.
Eleuther AI, I've heard of them. They're the ones behind GPT-Neo and other large language models, right? The ones that have really made a splash.
That's right. They're a group of independent researchers and developers who believe AI should be open and accessible to everyone.
It's amazing what they've been able to accomplish without the backing of a major corporation.
It really is. And they're still pushing the boundaries. One of their big announcements is a new open source SAE interpretation pipeline.
Okay, I'm going to need you to break that down for me. What's an SAE and why is this pipeline a big deal?
SAE stands for Sparse Autoencoder. It's basically a way to compress information while still keeping the most important parts. Think of it like a super efficient data organizer.
Got it. So this new pipeline helps us understand how these SAEs work.
Exactly. It's like creating a Rosetta Stone for understanding these complex AI models. By making them more transparent, we can gain insights into how they make decisions, which is crucial for building trust.
So it's like being able to see inside the black box of AI. That's really important as AI becomes more powerful.
I agree. And because it's open source, anyone can contribute to the project.
That's the beauty of open source, right? Collaboration and transparency lead to better results for everyone. What else are they talking about over at Eleuther AI?
Lots of stuff. One interesting discussion is about the challenges of integrating chess AI with large language models.
Chess AI and large language models, that's an interesting combo. What are they trying to do?
They want to create an AI that can not only play chess at a high level, but can also explain its moves in a way humans can understand, like having a grandmaster who can teach you while they beat you.
That would be incredible. It would really change how people learn chess, maybe even make it more popular.
Exactly. It's about bridging the gap between human intelligence and artificial intelligence so we can learn from each other.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the bigger communities like Perplexity and Eleuther AI, but what about some of the smaller, more niche groups?
Definitely. One really cool community is on the Tiny Grad Discord server.
Tiny Grad, the name sounds kind of humble for an AI community. What's their focus?
They're all about Tiny Grad, a deep learning library that's designed to be super simple and efficient. It's like the minimalist approach to AI development.
So it's like the Marie Kondo of deep learning. tidying up all the clutter and getting down to the essentials.
Huh, I love that. TinyGrad is about making deep learning more accessible, especially for people who might be intimidated by all the math and technical stuff.
It's great that they're making it easier for more people to get involved in AI, so what are they working on specifically?
They're constantly tweaking and improving TinyGrad's performance. Lately, they've been focused on optimizing its use of UOPs, which are the micro-operations that processors use to execute instructions.
Okay, so that's getting pretty deep into the technical weeds, but basically they're making TinyGrad faster and more powerful.
Exactly. And they're also working on making it easier to use and integrate with other tools.
It's amazing to see how a community focused on a relatively small tool like TinyGrad can have such a big impact.
It shows that you don't need a huge corporation or tons of money to make a difference in AI. It's all about passion and collaboration.
I'm really impressed by all these passionate folks we've encountered in our Discord deep dive. They're the heart and soul of the AI world.
Absolutely. They're the ones pushing the boundaries and
Yes.
building the future of AI. It's inspiring.
Okay, before we move on to the last part of our news roundup, is there one more community you want to highlight?
Let's finish up our Discord tour with the Llama Index community.
Lamy Index. That's the one that's all about building applications using large language models, right?
Yep. Llama Index is a framework that makes it easier to work with LLMs. It's like a bridge between the raw power of LLMs and the practical needs of developers.
So it's like taking these incredibly complex language models and giving them a user-friendly interface that developers can actually work with.
You got it. Llama Index is all about making LLMs more accessible and practical, so developers can focus on building cool applications.
What are they excited about in the Llama Index Discord right now?
One of the big topics is a new desktop app called VividNode. It lets you chat with and interact with multiple LLMs like GPT, Claude, Gemini, and Llama, all from one place.
That's awesome. It's like a universal remote control for the world of large language models. No more switching between different platforms.
Exactly. VividNode makes it so much easier to experiment with different models and find the best one for your needs.
Sounds like a great tool. What else is trending in the Llama Index community?
They're also talking about things like building serverless Arga applications, using Llama Index for knowledge management, and even participating in hackathons focused on Llama 3.2 models.
It seems like they're really focused on practical applications, finding ways to use LLMs to solve real-world problems.
Definitely. They're on the cutting edge of making LLMs useful in everyday life.
This whole Discord deep dive has been really eye-opening. It's amazing to see all the activity and innovation happening in these communities.
I agree. It's where the real future of AI is being shaped, in these collaborative, passionate online spaces.
It's a reminder that the future of AI isn't being decided by some big corporation or government. It's being created by a global community of people who are passionate about this technology.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Okay, before we get too philosophical, let's move on to the last part of our news roundup. Any other interesting bits from your Discord adventures that you want to share?
Yeah, actually, there's one more thing. It's from the LLM Agents Discord community. They're all about developing and understanding AI agents.
AI agents, now that's a topic that always gets me thinking. What are they up to over there?
They're really into this new framework called Tape Agents. It was developed by researchers at ServiceNow, and it's designed to make it easier to build and debug AI agents, especially as they get more complex.
Okay, so how does tape agents work? What's the big idea?
Tape Agents uses a structured log, they call it a tape, to keep track of an agent's actions and decisions. It's like having a black box recorder for your AI, so you can go back and understand exactly what it did, identify any errors, even rewind and replay specific scenarios.
That sounds incredibly useful, especially as AI agents become more autonomous and start making their own decisions.
Exactly. It's all about making sure AI agents behave the way we intend them to, especially as we start trusting them with more important tasks.
It's like as AI gets more powerful, we need better tools to understand and control it. We want to make sure it's a force for good, not something that gets out of hand.
Couldn't agree more. Transparency and accountability are essential, especially as AI becomes more and more part of our lives.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in our Discord deep dive. It's amazing to see all the energy and creativity in these online communities. They're truly at the forefront of the AI revolution.
I agree. It's inspiring to see so many people coming together to explore this technology and push the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so let's move on to the final part of our news roundup and see what other interesting developments you've uncovered in your AI explorations.
Sounds good to me. There's still plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
So diving back into those Discord discussions, I saw some interesting chatter in the OpenAI server. It seems like advanced voice mode is finally live for folks in the EU.
Oh, right. We talked about that before. The one for more natural voice-based conversations with ChatGPT.
That's the one. And it looks like they've made some real improvements to how it handles different accents based on what people are saying.
It's wild how quickly these AI models keep getting better and better. I remember when having a decent conversation with an AI seemed like a far-off dream.
I know, right? And speaking of things advancing fast, remember that proof of ChatGPT tool we talked about earlier? The one that uses zero-knowledge proofs? Well, that whole tech is taking off in other areas too.
Ah, zero knowledge proofs. Those were for verifying something without revealing the actual data, right?
You got it. And now there's this platform called Zkey Email, which is using zero-knowledge proofs to make email more secure and private. Pretty cool stuff.
So basically, this zero knowledge proof thing is becoming like the new hotness in tech.
You could say that. It's got a ton of potential uses,
Yes.
way beyond just cryptocurrency.
Okay, what else is catching your attention out there?
Well, this application called Vivid Node is generating some buzz. It's a desktop app that lets you work with a whole bunch of LLMs.
Vivid Node, that does sound familiar. Remind me what it is again.
It's like a one-stop shop for GPT, Claude, Gemini, even Llama, all those big language models, accessible from a single interface.
Ah, right. It's like a universal remote for the world of LLMs.
Exactly. Super convenient for folks who work with multiple models. Plus, it even handles image generation with DALL-E 3 and others.
Sounds like a powerful tool. What else is on your list?
Let's see. Oh, this one's a bit technical. Over on the TorchTune Discord, they're all about PyTorch, that deep learning library. Well, they've been wrestling with some warnings popping up in PyTorch core, something about float 16 and float 32 data types.
Okay, I'll be honest, you've lost me a bit there. What in the world are float 16 and float 32?
It's all about how numbers get represented in the computer's memory. And believe it or not, the choice of data type can actually affect how well those machine learning models work. So the TorchTune folks are really digging into those details.
So they're like the mechanics, making sure the engine runs smoothly, even if most of us never see what's under the hood.
A perfect analogy.
Okay.
There's a lot of hidden complexity that goes into making these AI tools work seamlessly.
Well, I have to say, after this deep dive, I'm just blown away by the energy and talent in the AI world. It seems like there's something new and exciting happening every single day.
I know, it's incredible. And it's not just happening in big research labs. Those online communities we talked about, they're driving so much of the progress.
It's really inspiring. So, as we wrap up this episode, what's the main message you want our listeners to take away?
I think the biggest thing is this AI revolution isn't something that's going to happen in the future. It's happening right now. New tools, new possibilities, it's all changing incredibly fast.
It's both exciting and a little overwhelming, right?
Definitely. But it's also a huge opportunity. AI has the potential to help us tackle some of the world's biggest challenges, but we need to be smart about how we use it.
So it's like we're at a crossroads, and the decisions we make today will determine what kind of future we create with AI.
Exactly. It could be a powerful force for good, but we need to guide it responsibly.
Well said. And I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of AI.
Always a pleasure. And to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions. The future of AI is in our hands.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious.